go, everybody. Wichita Paramotor, coast to coast. And we are live on Facebook. Thanks for joining me, everyone. We are going to do a couple of things today. We are going to go through some videos and some crash videos and stuff like that. We're going to look at some products, talk about paramotors, because that's what we do here on Wichita Paramotor, coast to coast. Now that's the good stuff right there. So we are going to talk about some live videos, some crash videos and stuff like that today. And I've got some stuff pulled up on the internet here. Now, if you are interested in learning how to paramotor or getting into the sport or just want to check it out and see if it's for you, one of the things you can do is go to the usppa.org, and there's a lot of information there, a lot of brochures, that kind of thing, stuff that you can download, look at. Lots of information. Plus, you can also go to wichitaparamotor.com and check out our page. And we're always looking to train people and get you set up, see if this is something that's for you. So, and we'll actually look at our website here in a little while. But what I want to do now is I want to pull up some videos. Bear with me. So, something that people do, and I'm hoping this is, more well known when it comes to the dangers of it, but that's towing. Towing, it should only be done by a certified, experienced instructor. Somebody who knows what they're doing and the dangers. One of the things that, we're not going to see this in this video, but one of the things that towing can really be dangerous for is lockout. Now, lockout is where the paramotor will come to one side, or the wing will come to one side, and then it gets locked into a turn that you cannot recover from. And then that ends up in a violent crash into the ground, and also it increases the amount of energy that you hit when you crash. So we are going to look at, get this up full screen here. We're going to look at towing incident, and this is actually done with a four-wheeler. Again, I highly discourage anybody to do anything like this, because it always goes bad. Not only in this video is the four-wheeler going to crash, but the paramotorist, the wing operator, is going to go down pretty hard too. So let's check this out and see what happens here. So wing comes up, starts being towed. I know it's not the best quality video. Oh, now watch this. The wing overpulls the four-wheeler. Now watch the energy as he surges forward. Wham. Not a good day. So, I highly recommend that you do not tow when it comes to paramotors with a vehicle, a car. Don't ever tie yourself to a pole in a windy condition. Lockout's a real thing, and lockouts killed and hurt a lot of people. So, and if anybody has any experiences with lockout, please reach out to me. I would love to hear what you've got and the information. Now, this next one we're going to look at is this guy hits a tree on landing, so he tries to go around, comes in hot, tries to go around. You can tell he's obviously uncomfortable with the landing. Tries to go around and ends up whacking a tree. It's a pretty hard hit. The thing here is from what I can see on this video, this looks like it could be a fairly experienced pilot. But I will say this, you know, I tell this a lot to my students and to people that I train with. Know your LZ. Knowing your LZ is half the battle. You know, I always tell people goal, G-O-A-L, get out and look. So go walk the LZ, you know, look for power lines, look for trees, look for potholes, look for fences you might not see. Look for, you know, any condition that could put you in peril while you're coming in for a landing or exiting on takeoff. You know, our LZ is our home base and it's our safe place. And we want to be able to have comfort in that safe place and be able to stay comfortable. So, you know, our LZ is super important to us. And, you know, not only that, we're going to look at some motor out videos as well. But you should fly being prepared for a motor out because you could have a new LZ as well. But hey, your home LZ, this is more important than absolutely anything. And I encourage everybody, goal, get out and look. Go look at your site, walk the whole thing. They actually talk about this in Risk and Reward with the USPPA. Spend some time. You know, everybody seems to be in a hurry to get in the air. Don't. Take a deep breath. Go walk around your LZ. Make sure it's safe. You know, especially if it's an unfamiliar area. You should always, always, always be comfortable with where you're flying. And the only way you can do that is by checking out the space. So, again, this crash is going to happen pretty fast, but let's check it out. So looks like a normal approach. Coming around, gets a good look at the site. You can see his vehicle parked there. Comes in for the first part of his approach. You can see he's landing into the wind. Oh, it's too hot, too fast, so he goes around and whack. Not a good one. So, the only thing I can say there is, you know, that was some bad decisions. He came in too fast, and he wasn't flaring properly, and found himself a tree. Now, as far as I know, this pilot's okay, but a little banged up. Now, the next one, so I can't say that I'm not one for a good tip touch. You know, I like to get close to every other pilots in the air, but not too close. And like I said, you know, a good tip touch once in a while. I've done a couple of them with some friends. My instructor, you know, did one with me a couple of years ago. And I think close proximity flying is okay as long as you keep that minimal distance. Wing walking, stuff like that is very, very dangerous. And it's not just dangerous for you, it's dangerous for the person that you are flying with and, you know, being in close proximity to. You know, their lives are at stake just like yours. And I think that taking the time to discuss and talk about what you're going to do before you do it, and again, taking all the safety precautions you possibly can. So this is a mid-air collision. This ends up in the guy throwing a reserve. And what's sad about this is his wing actually recovers. You'll see it here towards the end of the video. But, you know, this is a close proximity thing. This is not paying attention. And the pilot above ties up the wing of the pilot below. And then we end up with a very dangerous situation. Also, doing stuff like this, I would never do it without a reserve. Now, a reserve can always fail. It's a mechanical device, and it's only a one-shot, but it's better than nothing. So pay attention when you are flying in close proximity to others. Again, you're not just risking yourself, you're risking the other pilot as well. So let's check this one out. It's a mid-air collision. Now I'll tell you, these videos are kind of older, but they're goodies. So oldies but goodies, and I think they're very informative and, you know, good to watch. So here we go. Pretty rowdy situation. You can see it happens very fast. Go back to the beginning here. Wham! Just wings touching. One wing recovers. And that pilot's on the ground. So
I'm out here practicing reverse take.
So anyways, that's not a good situation. Again, if you're flying in close proximity to somebody, you really have got to pay attention with what you're doing. Their safety is as much as an importance as your own. So you really need to take the time to discuss with them what they're doing, and don't get too close and swinging in behind or in front of them. Not only is your wake, you know, potentially dangerous, but you know, collision, just even touching wings in the wrong manner could be a hard day. So the next one we're going to look at, this is a takeoff on the beach, and this pilot deals with torque twist on takeoff. Now, the reason why I bring this one up is because it is so important to make sure that you are hang tested properly. So not having a good hang test could mean that, you know, for most Vitarazi, like the 185, if you're looking at the back of the motor, the prop goes counterclockwise. So that means in free space, that engine is trying to turn clockwise. And what will happen is if you're leaned too far back, it enters yaw. And the yaw will twist you around and potentially twist your risers, which is easily remedied by letting off the throttle. But it's a scary, dangerous situation, and a lot of people panic and they pull brake and they get into the throttle either more or rapid less. You should let off the throttle slow and evenly, because if you let off too fast, you can swing back the other way. But torque twist is something that we try to avoid as much as possible, just because of the dangers. So I hang test everybody at about 10 to 15 degrees, off of 90, so, or off of vertical. And that way, they're not too far back to enter a yaw situation with torque twist. And also their cage is far enough away from the risers, there's not a chance to suck the brakes into the propeller. So let's check this one out. Up he goes. Hard torque twist. One side of the wing comes down, and that's a hard crash. So actually, let's put that in full screen. See if I can get my computer to cooperate with me here. Oh well, no full screen. Let's go back and look at that one more time. So he comes up, kind of sits a little early, hard torque twist. The wing collapses on the right side, and down he goes. So, hang test your motors and do it properly. And this is for the new guys out there. If you're looking at self-training, get with somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. Just clipping in, throwing a wing in the air, and running into the sky is really not how it works. There's some dark areas, and that torque twist is one of them. So let's go to the next video. Bear with me here. There we go. Got these all pulled up. Okay, this next one is a parachutal stall. And this parachutal stall is, it's not super violent, but it happens pretty fast, and it's on a takeoff. So let's look at this one here. And there it is. So too much energy as it comes around. You can see him balloon upwards. The wing takes a partial collapse, asymmetrical, and it puts him directly into a parachutal stall. Now, for those that don't know what a parachutal stall is, it's where the wing stops moving forward and starts moving down like a parachute. You end up coming down around 15 miles an hour, which, that's like having a car wreck. You can still break stuff and whatnot. Generally, if the wing stays inflated, a parachutal stall is not going to kill you, but they're definitely no fun. It can be a pretty scary experience. Now, I've never been in one. I know somebody who has, and they came out unscathed. But you really have to pay attention to the energy. So what'll happen is you come around for a turn, and say you're really banked hard into that turn. Well, if you just let off the brake, the energy has to go somewhere. And generally, it'll balloon the wing and the wing will go upwards. What happens is it goes upwards until it loses energy, and then it'll slide back. And that backslide turns it into a parachutal stall because it's no longer moving forward, but you have weight and gravity exists. So you start moving down. And, you know, there's a couple of different ways to get out of a parachutal stall. One is to, first of all, let off your throttle and let the wing kind of, let off your throttle aggressively and let the wing surge forward. That forward surge will help get forward motion again so you can move forward, go back into forward flight. The other one is let off the throttle slowly, deepen the brakes, and then throw your hands up. And again, you're encouraging a surge. Now, something I'll warn, if you're more than or less than 60 feet off the ground, you might want to ride out the parachutal stall. The reason why is that surge can point you towards the ground, increase the energy, and now you're going to fly face first into the dirt instead of, going back to flying. So sometimes it's better to ride out the parachutal stall, especially if you're at a real low altitude, than try to recover it close to the ground. So parachutal stalls, no fun. So the next video is tip collapse with too much brake, and you'll see his hands in this video are way, way, way down, and that is what ends up causing the crash. So let's check this one out. So it looks like he's doing a little relay here where he's kicking these poles, comes around, deep into the brakes, tip collapse, and down he comes. There's a couple of replays there for you. And watch how far his hands are. Look at his hands are at his waist. And I think this might have also been a little case of the downwind demon, because he wasn't gaining altitude. He was off, you saw the windsock in the beginning. It was obviously turned downwind, and he's trying to gain altitude and increase his turn, and I think too much brake. Now, I don't know why he was pulling on both sides, but it looked like just too much brake, and ended up in that collapse. So let's look at this again. So he's going to kick the little pole. We're going to come around. He's going to kick the other one. You see, he's got pretty good throttle management. But he comes around, takes that little tip collapse. Again, he's deep into the brakes. Damn. There it is. Look how low his hands are. Almost looks like he was trying to pull into a flare there at the end to maybe land it. But hands up, people. Hands up. Let the wing fly. That's probably my biggest advice. Even when we're kiting, And we have new people. I'll see them running on the field, and they're just digging, trying to get the wing to go, but their hands are down here. And you know, all of a sudden, I'll tell them hands up, hands up. They put their hands up, and all of a sudden, they can run, stand up straight. You know, I caution people on takeoff. You know, too much brake on the launch. You know, we give a little pressure to make the wing more buoyant and lift us up off the ground, but too much pressure can result in, you know, again, a short form parachute stall. And coming down like that, you know, it happens fast, and you know, you're going to break equipment. You might not break you, but you're going to break equipment. So hands up, hands up, hands up. You know, control the wing, but don't over control the wing. So our next video, now this one is something I've seen happen. It's not actually happened to me. It happened to a friend of mine, and he was actually able to pull this out with absolute grace. But a motor out just after takeoff. Now, you are running in the throttle, you go, you get 30, 40 feet off the ground, the motor dies. A couple of things are going to happen. One, you're going to get caught in a surge almost immediately. When the motor dies, we are a pendulum. So as we're motoring up, the wing is back at a high angle of attack, and the paramotor itself is forward. When the motor cuts, you again are a pendulum. You will swing back, the wing will surge forward. Now, one thing on your beginnings, you need to learn surge checks. Surge checks are very important. That's where you feel the wing starting to overfly you, and you give pressure, catch the wing, and then give it back slowly so it doesn't resurge. One of the problems in the air is if you get a giant surge is, one, you will face the ground, and if you're close to the ground, it's really scary, and it increases your energy because now you're moving fast. That surge gains energy. The second thing is it can frontal collapse. So the front of the wing can fold over, stop taking air, and turn into a full frontal or a full collapse where now, you know, you have no wing above you. So what you should do is, if something like this happens, you're on takeoff, you're at a high angle of attack, the motor dies, swings back, catch that wing immediately, round it off so that you gain control of that surge, and then don't get into the seat too early. As older guys, you know, ones that have been flying for a while, we have a tendency to jump into the seat, you know, because we feel confident, you know we've left the ground, we know what it feels like, so we get into the seat right away. Here's the malady. If you get a on-launch motor out, your legs are in the seat, your landing gear isn't down, you are not ready to regain control of yourself and the paramotor and land it correctly. So let's look at this motor out. I thought I set this up, but I guess I didn't. That's okay. Alright. Here we go. So, good ram out. Checking his wing tips. Run. Into the seat very early. Looks like he gets about 20, 30 feet off the ground. Motor quits. Surge forward. There's no surge control, and he's still in his seat when he hits the ground. So let's watch that again. So good takeoff, good takeoff. Zoom. Comes up. Gets up here, motor quits. Wing surges forward. You can look at, he's almost looking at the ground, and whack. So, again, be ready to always control the wing and be ready for the motor out. Motor outs can happen at any time. Remember, your motor is a mechanical device. They can fail randomly, and you need to be ready for it. It's very, very, very important that you are set up mentally to know that any time you can motor out. It's why we fly the way we do too. We don't fly over trees, we don't fly over water. We watch out for power lines, we cross them in a certain way. And the reason why is if the motor dies while this happens, we can, be in some great peril. So, anyways, that is the motor out. So, always keep your landing gear down. Now this one, I saw this one, and I was like, holy crap. This one right here could happen to absolutely everybody. And we're at fly-ins. We set up, close to each other in close proximity. Of course I wanted to do it on me early. We set up in close proximity. We're trying to watch out for the next guy, but we want room to launch. Pay attention, not only as the pilot, but as the bystander. So check this one out. This is going to happen fast. That guy just dodges that one. We're going to get a replay here. So look how close he comes. He's barely off the ground. It's a wild takeoff, and if this guy wasn't paying attention, he wouldn't have been able to duck and get out of the way of the prop and the paramotor. Now, I think the pilot that turtled was okay, but again, let's look at this. This is crazy, and it happens so fast. Jeez.
You alright?
I'm sure he's alright, but his pride is a little torn up there. Watch this guy dip. This guy sees it coming immediately and hits the ground. Almost gets caught up in the wing as well. Absolutely insane. Look at this. Look, watch. Amazing. So, watch those wild takeoffs too. Setup is everything. Experience is everything. Pay attention. Watch what you're doing. This paramotor injuries happen fast. And because of that, now, I contemplated whether I was going to bring up this video. But I will say I use this in my training class, and I feel it's very important for everybody to understand the dangers of ground starting. Now, ground starting is where, for those that don't know, ground starting is where your motor is on the ground. You will grab the frame, throttle in one hand, starting cord in the other. Now again, this is not on your back, this is not attached to anything. This is free sitting on the ground, and you grab the unit, you grab the starter, and you pull. Here's the danger. If the motor for some reason gets stuck at full throttle, where you haven't checked the linkage or the butterfly in the carburetor didn't close, that motor is going to run up and it's going to do it very fast. I tell my students that this is not a joke. Ground starting, if it goes bad, that motor will run you down, chase you, and eat you. And eat you is not a euphemism. It will take chunks off your body. It will remove flesh. So, for the faint-hearted, I say you turn away from the screen here for a minute, and I am going to show what a ground start going bad can look like. Now, something I want you to pay attention, and I'm going to play this a couple of times. You will actually see pieces of this individual get caught in the cage, like little bits of debris. This again is not for the faint of the heart. Viewer discretion advised. This might be, if you don't like violence, this might be a point where you want to turn away. But come back to the video in a second. But this is what it looks like, and this is mild. Okay, this is a mild ground start accident. This could have gone a lot worse. I believe the individual is struck 3 times, twice in the arm and once in the chin. But this is one where he walks away. Now, something else I want to say, you're going to see him look over this motor and look around like, oh, what happened? How did this go wrong? You're going to hear somebody from the background go, are you okay? And he's going to be like, yeah, I'm fine. But he's not fine. He realizes towards the end here that he's going to the hospital. So, without further ado, so as you can see there's actually pieces of him caught in the cage. Hit the chin. Watch him check his right arm here. Pulling pieces of himself out of the paramotor. So that is
What's up?
that is a pretty scary situation to deal with. Now I want to look at this again. Let me pull this to full screen. See how quick that went to full throttle? That was absolute second and a half. can see he's holding on to that paramotor for dear life. So when I say it'll chase you down and eat you, that is not a euphemism. This poor guy, you know, his pride, his flying day is over. So the way we like to say it is on your back or on a rack. If it goes to full throttle, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get thrown forward and, you know, face plant. But I'd rather face plant than get chopped up by the propeller. You know, there's so many situations where it's better than holding the motor in free space like that and then yanking on the pull cord. Tie it to the bump of your car. You know, build a rack. Start it up in an A-frame if you're going to do something like that. But do not put the motor on the ground and do a ground start. It is going to be the most dangerous thing that you can possibly do. And because of this, you know, the USPPA used to say that motor outlandings were one of the greatest causes of, over water was one of the greatest causes of injury. But now it's starting the paramotor itself. So I encourage everyone to avoid doing a ground start. Now, something like I have been wanting somebody to redo risk and reward. It's in the USPPA syllabus as something you should watch, but in there they show how to ground start. Ground starting should not be a part of the paramotor sport. You know, it's going to ruin your day. It's going to take out your paramotor, your prop. It could be fatal. It could be the point where you can lose fingers, hands. Ground starting is, to me, one of the most dangerous things that can happen. Now, on my field, if you ground start, I'm going to absolutely lose my shit. I will be jumping up and down, spitting crazy mad, because everybody at this point should know the dangers of ground starting. If you're a ground starter, please stop it. And I've ran into people that ground start and they have this whole explanation of why they do it. No explanation is good enough to losing a finger. Ground starting is, again, like I said, probably the most dangerous act that we can do flying a paramotor. And you haven't even got off the ground yet. So, all right, let's look at some websites. Thanks for hanging out with me for these videos. I know the last one was a little rough, but I do think it's information that should be shared. And everybody's on the bright side of paramotor. But I'm looking out for the new people and for the self-trainers, because I assume they're going to watch this video as well. Be careful. Get your USPPA handbook, known as the Paramotor Bible, PPG Bible. Read it front to back, then read it again, then wait a couple of days and read it again. The information in there is absolutely vital. And you know, understanding how dangerous a ground start could be. You know, somebody doesn't think about it. They just think, oh, hey, let's get this thing started. And then all of a sudden the motor goes to full throttle and it's a bad day. You know, for the people out there that are beginning, let's check this out. So I recommend usppa.org. Go here. You can find a school. So click on find a school, and you can search by state. But all the paramotor schools and there's 93 schools total in the U.S. will be listed here on the website. Also, resources is another good place to be. The members directory, so if you're looking for other members of the USPPA, this is a good place to find them. Also, instructor administrators, so you're looking, say you've got your PPG3 and you are looking to become a instructor or get your tandems, this is a good place to go because it'll tell you all your instructor administrators. There's an incident database, so when bad things happen, you can go and fill out an incident report so others can learn from it. But there are tons of reports to go check out. And for the new people, I say go read some of this stuff. That way, you get an idea of what's happening and what can happen while flying a paramotor. Now, ground school, there are some classes here, like one I recommend is the airspace class. So these modules here will take you through, they'll take you through airspace and teach you different types of airspace, where you need permission, and where things can be dangerous, and get yourself in trouble. Also, brochures. So these brochures, this one is about PPG, so you can share with your friends. This one is a guide to flying safely in uncontrolled airspace. This one here, if you have a landowner where you want to go fly, and he's worried about liability, you can do the landowner's permit with him, the landowner's waiver, and it releases him from any liability. That way, if you do something stupid or get injured, the landowner isn't liable. Then there's for instructors and whatnot, there's the general liability release. So, this is inherently a dangerous sport. We're leaving the ground. It's flying. And, you can be injured. So we have students sign this. That way it releases us from liability. And then the last one is a really good one. It's a safety guide to paramotor, things to watch out for, safety checks, that kind of thing. So this is the USPPA website. Again, usppa.org. I believe it's about $45 for somebody to sign up. And this is a fantastic way to get into the sport. And again, for anybody out there looking, I encourage you to get an instructor. With an instructor, you have the chance to train safely and maybe even use their equipment, so you're not all in right in the beginning. But you can find an instructor again on the USPPA website. And these are all certified instructors. We have all gone through a training program. We've started with the PPG-1, we've gone all the way to our PPG-3, and then we have passed a test and worked with an administrator to make sure that we issue the proper training to the next student. So the nice thing is too, if you end up becoming a member, you get a magazine or 3 times a year. You get USPPA ratings, so you can get the exemption. You get the chance to fly at international events, and there's always continuing education. So, again, usppa.org, and that's probably the safest way to get into the sport. So, also, if you're looking to get into the sport and you are in the Wichita area or surrounding states, and you are looking for an instructor and you want to learn how to fly with yours truly, go to wichitaparamotor.com. Phone number's there on the front. And also what's nice is we have a full online store, wings, motors, all kinds of good stuff, props, reserves, trikes, quads, paramotor merch, lots and lots of brands. But one thing I want to talk about today, because we've been talking about safety, and we've looked at something like, as horrible as a prop strike on a ground start. I sell something. I have a product called the Oh Shit Kit. And the Oh Shit Kit is a IFAC, individual first aid kit, that can strap to your paramotor. So if you get into a situation, or one of your friends that you're flying with get into a nasty situation, the Oh Shit Kit is probably one of the most comprehensive and largest loadouts for its type in the industry. So it comes in several colors, as you can see, from tourniquets, trauma shears, gauze, tape, knuckle bandages, butterfly bandages, and zip stitches as well. If you don't know what a zip stitch is, that's the little butterfly stitch with the zip tie on it. Sterile gauze, gloves, there's chemical lights, there's glow sticks, tweezers, moleskin, different kinds of bandages, several different kinds of bandages. There's a splint roll. There's all kinds of, there's a pen light, emergency blanket. So there is all kinds of safety equipment in the Oh Shit Kit that will allow you to render aid to yourself or somebody else in a bad situation. Now, as you can see, it comes in all kinds of colors, and they are absolutely fun and fantastic. Again, they will there's the zip stitches there. They will strap to your paramotor with some Velcro, and that way, if you get into a situation, you can quickly render aid to yourself or somebody else. And they're rip away. So I should have brought one in here to show off, but you can actually rip it away from its housing, walk off with the bag, leave the mount on your paramotor. So that is the Oh Shit Kit on WichitaParamotor.com. So again, if you're looking to fly, you're in the Wichita area, WichitaParamotor.com, or on Facebook, Wichita Paramotor. You can reach out to us at 316-990-0482. So that brings me to my next one. So I want to talk about paramotors. So I have a love for a company that's here local in Goddard, Kansas. They are, in fact, the owner of this company was my instructor, Brian Hummer. And these are probably the most modular paramotor out there. The easiest to break down, easiest to put together. So that takes us to cangookamerica.com. If you are looking for a paramotor that is easily assembled, great for learning, great for the experienced guy. They have trikes, you can get parts. I'll tell you, these guys support their products like no other. So if you are looking for a paramotor and you want something that's both great for the beginner and the experienced pilot, go to cangookamerica.com. Again, you know, trikes, quads, tons and tons of products. This is a great company. You also can pick up some wings on here. They have reserves, parts of all kinds, accessories. You can reach out to a local dealer. And if you're looking for stuff, you can also call me at 316-990-0482. I can help you get Kangook parts, accessories, and paramotors. These guys, and they have the EFI. So if you're looking for an EFI paramotor, this is the place to go. So the other company I want to bring up, this is our local Viterazzi provider. This is Light Flight, and if you need anything Viterazzi, these are the guys to go to. So that's lightflight.us, and I appreciate it. So today we're doing a little shorter show than normal. I really appreciate everybody hanging out and doing the show with us. I'm trying to do this weekly. Now these will end up on YouTube. Also, a audio recording of this will end up on Spotify, YouTube Music, iMusic, and Pandora. So if you are looking to have something to do while you're cleaning the house or whatnot, want some audio, go to Spotify, check us out, Wichita Paramotor, again Pandora, YouTube Music, and iMusic, Apple Music. And listen to these podcasts as well. But I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. You know, I love doing these shows. We're trying to do them every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're into paramotor, you're learning how to paramotor, you want to know more about paramotor, you want to meet paramotor people, come hang out with us, and we'll always have some good content for you. So you know what to do. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe there on YouTube. Comment, give us a like. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any thoughts on up-and-coming episodes, you have videos you'd like us to feature, please share them with me at ictppg@gmail.com, and we will be glad to show these videos and share your content. Or if you have a cool story you want to tell. I'm always looking for guests. We can do it via Zoom, anything like that. So that's why we're coast to coast. If you'd love to come on to the show, tell me a little bit about your story. Hey, you want to talk about me? You know, you got some pros, cons, that kind of thing, paramotor experiences. Please don't hesitate to share with us. My name is Leo Kiesling. Don't forget to go to wichitaparamotor.com, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, give us a comment. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much, and you all have a good day.